The clock struck midnight as the rain began to fall over London. It wasn't a gentle drizzle but a relentless curtain of water, washing the city clean of its sins, or perhaps just hiding them. Beneath the orange haze of street lamps, the pavements glistened like mirrors, reflecting the ghostly silhouettes of late-night wanderers and the hum of distant sirens. In the heart of this sleeping city stood Camden Station, closed for hours, empty to the public. But inside, someone was waiting. Evelyn Hart sat alone on a bench, her coat soaked through, her fingers gripping a small leather case. She wasn't supposed to be there. The last train had left nearly 2 hours ago. Yet she waited, because tonight, at precisely 12:17 a.m., something that wasn't supposed to exist was coming through the tunnel. She glanced at the flickering departure board, blank, silent, obsolete. The entire station was bathed in a low hum of electric static, as though the air itself were alive. She checked her watch again. 12:12, 5 minutes. Her heart thudded. She'd been warned that if she missed it, there would be no second chance. The story had begun 3 months earlier, in a dusty archive beneath the British Library. Evelyn, a historian specializing in railway folklore, had stumbled upon an unmarked file labeled The Camden Transit Anomaly, 1957. Inside were witness reports, all identical claims that a train had appeared out of thin air, carrying no passengers, no conductor, and no record of ever existing. Every report ended the same way: the witnesses disappeared within 24 hours. It should have been dismissed as urban legend. But Evelyn wasn't like most historians. She'd spent her life chasing ghosts, literal and historical. She had found the coordinates, the timing, and the legend. And now, she was here to prove it was real. 12:16. The lights above began to flicker violently. A deep rumble rolled through the tunnel, soft at first, then growing into a deafening roar. Dust and wind rushed through the platform, blowing Evelyn's hair into her face. She shielded her eyes. The sound was unmistakable: metal grinding on rails. The last train to Camden had arrived. It burst through the tunnel like a phantom, sleek, silver, and silent, yet radiating a cold mist. Its windows were blacked out, its number plates missing. There was no driver visible through the fogged glass of the front car. And then, as if time itself stuttered, everything went still. The train stood motionless before her, doors hissing open. Evelyn swallowed. Her breath came out in clouds. She stepped forward. The air smelled of iron and electricity. Inside, the carriage lights flickered with a sickly yellow hue. She hesitated only a second before stepping in. The doors slammed shut behind her with a final, echoing thud. The seats were upholstered in deep crimson velvet, the kind used half a century ago. A faint gramophone tune played somewhere in the distance, a haunting waltz from another era. Her heels clicked against the floor as she walked down the aisle, her heart pounding. And then she saw them. Passengers. Dozens of them, dressed in 1950s attire, men in suits, women in pearl necklaces and hats. But none of them moved. Their eyes were open, staring blankly ahead, skin pale as marble. Not dead, but not alive either. Frozen in time. Evelyn's pulse quickened as she realized what she was looking at. The lost witnesses. Miss Hart. The voice came from behind her. She turned sharply. A man stood there, tall, wearing a conductor's uniform, his face shadowed under his cap. But his eyes glowed faintly blue, like light refracted through water. You shouldn't have come. Evelyn steadied her voice. I came for the truth. What is this? He tilted his head, studying her. Truth, he repeated softly, almost amused. Truth is what built this line. Truth, and guilt. He began walking slowly down the aisle, his footsteps echoing. In 1957, a government experiment went wrong. They tried to create a transport line that moved not through space, but time. They called it the Temporal Transit Initiative. This train was the prototype. Evelyn's grip tightened on her leather case. And something happened. Yes. The conductor's voice grew distant, hollow. It never came back. Until now. He turned to face her, eyes burning brighter. Every 70 years, it returns. Looking for those who still seek it. Those who won't let it rest. Evelyn took a step back. You mean it's alive? It's hungry, he corrected. The carriage lights began to dim. The passengers' heads slowly turned toward her in eerie unison, their faces expressionless. Evelyn's breath hitched. What do you want from me? The conductor raised a gloved hand, pointing to the case she carried. That, he said quietly. Evelyn looked down. Inside the case was the original blueprint of the Camden line marked with red notations and coordinates she'd found in the archives. It was the last surviving piece of the experiment. It belongs here, the conductor whispered. It always has. Evelyn shook her head. No. If this train really is what you say, the world deserves to know. The world, he said coldly, forgot you the moment you stepped aboard. Suddenly the floor trembled, and the train lurched forward. Evelyn stumbled, clutching a seat. The view outside the windows began to blur, streaks of light bending, colors warping into impossible shapes. Time wasn't moving forward or backward. It was collapsing. She ran toward the next carriage, desperate for an exit. But each door she opened led to the same carriage again, the same frozen passengers, the same seats. She was trapped in an endless loop. Then she saw it, a small emergency lever marked reset. Without thinking, she pulled it. The train screamed like a living creature. The lights shattered, the windows imploded, and suddenly everything went white. When she opened her eyes, she was lying on the floor of the platform. The station was silent again. The train was gone. Only the faint smell of smoke lingered. Evelyn's case lay beside her, the lock broken. She opened it and froze. The blueprint was gone. In its place was a single old-fashioned train ticket. She picked it up. It was stamped Camden Transit, one way, 1957. Her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. 4:37 a.m. She'd been gone for 4 hours. But when she looked up at the clock on the station wall, it read 12:17 a.m., the exact minute she had boarded. Her hands shook as she stumbled toward the exit. Outside, the rain had stopped. The city was silent. She reached for her phone again, but something was wrong. The date on the screen read April 3, 1957. Evelyn dropped the phone. Behind her, faintly, came the echo of a train whistle. The next morning, Camden Station security found her phone lying on the platform, screen cracked, still glowing faintly with static. The CCTV footage showed nothing, only a brief flash of light at 12:17, then darkness. The following week, the same anonymous file appeared once again in the British Library archives, now with a new name added to the list of missing persons, Dr. Evelyn Hart. And below it, written in neat typewriter font: The last train arrived on time.